Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Catherine. Today we're going to be crocheting an orange and black mushie while you're going to be listening to some Reddit stories that I'm going to read. It is a different day, so there's a little bit of a difference in the lighting and setup. However, I hope you can forgive me, and let's get into the video. I forgot to film the first part when I was making the little eggs, so forgive me for that. But our first story is from r/LetsNotMeet, and it's from Deadlyisdead. Story, July 9th. P.S. I am French, so the translation may not be perfect. Catherine here real quick. I probably will change a little bit of the phrasing of this story just to make it more cohesive. Thank you, and I'll get back into it. Firstly, you have to know that I was born and I lived in the area this happens for 18 years, so I know the noises the nature makes there. I went to town when I was older. I would come back to see my family during the holidays. Meanwhile, last year they moved to a really secluded hamlet in the fields, a few kilometers from my childhood village. Last summer, I passed for a small stay. It is hot, so I opened the windows at night by closing the shutters. The windows overlook the street, but anyway, there's literally no one here. We have neighbors, but they're a couple in their 50s, so I know I won't be disturbed in my sleep. At 9 a.m., it is totally silent. I fall asleep quiet, but at 3 a.m., I was woken up by a noise. It sounds like a bird. It's strong enough to wake me up, but still it stays far away. I'm out of it. I listen to it to determine what it is, but I just can't. I can't go back to sleep because the noise completely breaks the silence. But something keeps me from closing the windows. The noise gradually gets closer to me, and it makes me feel really weird. The noise comes to my windows. It scared me because it is not at all the behavior of a bird. So I get out of my bed discreetly and I stick my ear to the shutter. And there, I hear something that terrifies me, and I cannot move at all. The song of the bird twitches and misses. It's not a bird. It's a human with a bird whistle to imitate and attract birds, walking down the street. The guy's like a few yards away from me. I have a really weird feeling. I feel like I'm witnessing something I won't have to, so I stay frozen, and I wait until it leaves far enough away to not hear me close the windows. I ask myself many questions. There are fields all around, small forests a few kilometers. Why would this guy use his pipe in the street? If there was a bird with that song in the area, I would have heard it from my window, and it's not. Anyway, that guy left. Too weird, but well, after a few hours, I go back to sleep. The next morning, I tell my parents. They don't believe me and think I dreamed. It pisses me off. I don't like people thinking I'm off the rails, so I decide to leave the window open tonight and try to record the sound so they'll believe me, and also so I can figure out which bird the guy is trying to imitate. I tell them, and they make fun of me by telling me it won't happen again. They were wrong. At 3 a.m., the guy is back and wakes me up again. This time I take out my phone and I stick it to the shutter to record the sound. I hear the guy coming up to my window. I hear him walking, so it's definitely not a bird. The next day, I make my mother listen to the sound. She thinks it's of an owl. Okay, it's the sound of an owl, but well, that doesn't explain why there's a guy making owl sounds under my window when there's no other owl around. Third night, I always leave the window open, but I'm always afraid. But I'm too curious. 3 a.m., I hear the guy coming. And I'm going to stand this time behind the front door, 2 steps away from my room. The door is glass, a little blurred. The street is lit by some streetlights. In short, if the guy passes, I will see his silhouette, and I can determine what the owl man looks like. Well, that doesn't happen. I can't see it, but I can hear it. I can't see its shadow, not even a small shape. It's so weird. The next nights, I keep hearing it. My mom got up at 3 a.m. to see and heard it too. Once, my mom closed the window when he was right up next to the door because it was too much noise for sleeping. And the noise just stopped when he heard it. I ended up closing the windows all night. I don't know what else to investigate. The only thing I didn't do is go outside when it's there. and I'm not gonna do that. I still hear it when the window's closed, but it doesn't wake me. It lasted a week, every night. I go home and I don't think about it too much. But my mother sometimes tells me she hears it. Sometimes she hears it not in the street, but a small road perpendicular to the street, which leads to the fields. She says what she hears is an owl, but I know it's not an owl. It's him. And then we get to tonight. Tonight, I came home at 3 a.m. I finished writing this at 4. It took me an hour to tell everything. I closed the window before he could get too close to me, because he always scares me, and I don't want to go through that. And I thought, crap, I should have recorded it. Anyway, tomorrow night, if I hear it, I'll record it again and try to publish the sound, but I don't know if we can do that here. Do you guys have any idea what this guy's goal is? Why he plays the bird whistle in the street? Why does he absolutely want to attract owls? It can't just be an enthusiast. The guy does it all nights of the week. And that's the end of the main story, but there are 3 updates that we will get into. The first update takes place on August 9th, and it is a recording of the sound. I'll play it for you real quick. That was more than a little creepy. I'd be really freaked out if that was outside my house for multiple nights out of a week. Anyway, let's get back to the updates. Update 2 is on October 9th. That night, I forgot to close the window and I obviously heard him. It always makes me feel so uncomfortable, but especially there, I distinctly heard 2 whistlers. On the evening of the recording, I also heard 2 noises, but even if the recording seems strong, it stayed away. So I thought, cool, the guy was able to talk with his owl. I still recorded for the fun of it, but in the end it was much less scary. The whistler did not go away under my window because a car passed, but he definitely went away after. But this time it was under my window, and the 2 noises are not at all a guy and an owl, but 2 different whistlers. So one that doesn't really sound like an owl. Therefore, firstly, it makes one noise of hell, but really ultra strong. I have the impression that every night it is gradual. Last year, it was not like that. Second, no bird will answer such a noise because with several whistles, it's really messy. So the guy does not try to attract birds. I'm ultra uncomfortable, really. I didn't record this time. My phone was off, and I was afraid that turning it on would make a noise. I'm still afraid to make a noise when I hear them. I might try tomorrow for the sake of the gesture. Even if I hate to hear it, I like to record. Update 3, November 9th. This night, he only makes a few shy hoo-hoos, and I did not manage to record it. I don't think there will be new updates because I will be leaving my mother's house soon, and I need to rest. Catherine here, that's a really freaky story, especially the part with the 2 whistlers and how they're not trying to track the owls. So what the heck are they even trying to do? But I can confirm that OP is in a different place now without the whistlers, and they are getting the rest that they needed. But I still hope for the OP's mother's sake that they are gone and just not doing this anymore. And on to our next story. This one's a little shorter, and it's from Our Entitled Parents by Lightning Fall. And its title is My 24 Female Mom Demanded to be present during my gynecology exam and barged in. Edit, sorry for the confusion, I'm 24 currently, and my mom is in her early 50s. My mom knew about my appointment and that I was going to be examined, clothing would be removed. She wanted to accompany me last minute for support, and I couldn't argue with her to stay at home or I would be late. I thought that she would wait outside. She has done so before, but for other types of appointments. But instead, she tried to go in with me. The staff kept her out, and later she knocked on the door and walked into the appointment saying she needed to tell my doctor about my family medical history. I had already told my doctor all of it. She was taken out of the room and the door was locked. When I left the hospital, she wasn't there anymore and was upset I kicked her out. I told her it was a very private thing to be asked about your past relationships and get examined. I'm extremely shy with my body, and it's always hard for me to do these things. So, of course, I didn't want her there, or would even think for her to want to be there. She told me she wants grandchildren, and she is my mom. Therefore, it's not that big of a deal for her to be there with me during my visit, and that I should stop acting like my body is sacred, since I would need to get used to other people, like medical staff, seeing it. She also told me that my dad is always with her whenever she needed to be examined, so I should allow her to be there with me. I told her a spouse is way different than a parent, and that since she hates to talk about sex and has slut-shamed me in the past, she is very religious and hated to see me with anyone, there is no reason for her to be there. Edit, I wanted to clarify something. At the time of the appointment, I was temporarily living with my family, so she knew I was going to the hospital and forced me to tell her why. If I disagreed with her, she will try to make my life a living hell and make my family turn against me. Also, the appointment was not related to fertility/pregnancy. I don't live with them anymore, so she doesn't know about my life as I went low contact. Catherine back now, and wow, I'm at a loss for words with this story. But first I have to give applause and my support to the OP going low contact with her mom. Obviously, that's a really hard thing to do, but if her mom doesn't respect her boundaries like she wants to, then it's very, very understandable and reasonable to go low contact so her mom can't cause these kind of issues anymore. And I do find it weird that she wants to be at her daughter's gynecology exam when she won't even have an open talk about sex and then slut-shaming her. That's very not okay. The mom shouldn't decide who the daughter wants at her appointments. It's the daughter's body, so it's the daughter's choice. Anyway, I hope both of the OPs from both of these stories are okay now and out of the situations that they were in. I think they both are, so that is absolutely great for the both of them. Thank you so much for watching these two crazy Reddit stories and then watching me crochet something calm in the background. I think they contrast each other very nicely, especially when some of these stories are insane. Not on the faults of the OPs, but because of the people around them, of course. And then switching topics real quick, I just wanted to mention that a lot of this video is sped up to 6 or 7 times it's normally. I cut this down to about 13 minutes, and it was originally over an hour. Just for the people who don't crochet, to put that in perspective of how long this one took me. And there's my cat. He's adorable. In this video, I've made a black and orange mushroom plushie, or a mushie. And next video, hopefully I will be making a dragon. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for more crazy, laid back, or any type of Reddit story. If you have a Reddit story that you want me to read, then please let me know in the comments. Have a good day. Bye-bye.